Welcome to Backwater Casting. I'm your host, Rick Greene. We're starting off our 10th season of Backwater Casting on the Miramichi River fishing for striped bass. Our guest today is Brian Cummings, and he's the Deputy Chief of Police for the city of Miramichi. Stripers are running in the river, looking forward to having a great day on the water. All right, let's go find some fish. Down on the bottom of the lake, you see? So we went down and waited to stop blasting. Just found it. Okay, that was good over there. We'll have a look at that after. He looks like. So what I do with these, Brian, is I want the hook just barely buried in there. So you push the body forward a little bit and let it come back over that hook point. So it's weedless, stumpless, whatever we get into out here. Well, we're in 7 feet of water, so say 7 from the bottom of the trolling motor. So when we stopped the boat, we were probably in 6 feet. We've been just drifting down with that outgoing tide. I'm not sensing any weight there.
No, he's coming in fairly easy.
Wonder if that little flash of chartreuse on there is making a difference, because I don't have any on mine. Gosh. Well, Brian's already got me 1-0. We only just started.
Gotta go back.
Oh.
That was nice. He hit that pretty hard there as I was reeling it in. Nice feeling. I hadn't felt it in a while.
So Brian's got me down 2-0. Well, we're getting some now. If we can get the right year class, we'll be off and running.
Good.
It's way bigger. Oh, that's it's not big. That's a nice fish. Well, I still got a line in the water. I'm trying to be careful.
Oh yeah, he was good.
Yeah, you're getting some picky. That's not big. Considering I got no fish. So I got that. See if that towel will hold us in the sand. That go down?
That one's a little bigger. He would be a keeper.
You want me to? I got a tape if you want to check.
Yeah, I think he's probably a keeper.
So you can drop him in there.
So Rick, I got that keeper that we just put in the well there. What's the minimum maximum on the lengths?
So that one that you just had, Brian, and I say you because I haven't caught any fish today. But that one was 56 or 57 inches, and the limit that you can keep a fish on the river here is between 50 and 65 centimeters, so you're almost in the middle on that one.
So Rick, I know last year we were allowed to keep 2 fish. Is this the first year that they've raised the retention?
Well, yeah, the retention went up. I think the first year they did it up here, you were allowed 1, and then they changed it to 2, and last year they took it up to 3, and they have not changed anything for this year yet. Although it's entirely possible they might, because they feel that there was a large winter kill on the population. Apparently they wintered somewhere they don't normally, and there wasn't enough forage. So it's hard to say. I mean, the DFO is evaluating this all the time, and it does change. Now, I'm having fun because it's my first fish, but it's definitely not the biggest fish that's come to the boat today, and this is my first fish. Come here, darling. Power Pro, you can come up. So Rick got a baby bass, finally. So that's not bad though. We've been up here 10 minutes. You've got a nice one. I got that little fella there. So at least there's a few fish around, because it was pretty grim when we were right down in city center.
They're starting. So Rick, what is it that you're using for bait there?
I have got a Zoom Magnum Fluke on a 1/4 ounce swim bait hook. So it's a fairly good, whoops, I just pulled it right back out. It's a fairly good size hook, and I got a hitchhiker trailer on there, so the pin is actually in there, so the bait's not tucked in on the hook itself. It's sitting on that hitchhiker trailer, so you get a nice straight line, hook straight, so when you set, you got a straight pull in.
Feels pretty good.
So I'm not going to cast this time, just in case it's another net fish. You might see, I told you I'm using the small fish bait.
Another nice looking fish.
We'll measure that guy too.
Get that.
Here.
There we go.
You got him?
I don't know if he's a grouper or not. That one, I could tell he was heavier than that small one I had earlier.
Okay, so this one is 51, and the measurement is from the jaw to the tip of the tail, not the fork of the tail. So it's a full length measurement. So, anyway.
We're gonna get lots of bigger ones.
I'll put some water in the other live well. Yeah, whatever he's doing that I'm not doing is triggering the fish.
Well, I think it feels small. Yeah, this one's small.
What am I down? 5-1 now? 6?
Little guy.
Little guy. Future of stripers in the Miramichi right there, the future fishery. But as in my previous fish, I'm into the small ones. It's my buddy Phillips got me trained. He told me when we're fishing, it's my job to get the small fish out of his way. So this one's for Phil.
Oh, he wants it again.
You know what? I'm on the wrong end of the boat. I'm on the wrong end of the boat. If it turns out that little flash of chartreuse is making a difference, okay, so faster retrieve, Rick. Get him going. Get it going. There's probably a bunch of schoolies over there.
I just had a hit too.
Did you? I'm going to drop the
There we
anchor
go.
again.
And we both got fish on.
Yeah. Yours looks bigger than mine.
This one might be a nursery one too.
Oh. Well, I don't feel so bad. We are in the nursery. Yep, yours is a bigger nursery one than mine was, though.
Get out here.
I missed. I found some.
Small one. That was bigger, but he's gone.
Hey, you know what? Oh, you hit your back
He
again.
came back again.
I was going to say, I got one too. We found some.
Now we're into some fun.
See, mine's still a schoolie. Yours is bigger than mine. We found a few bunched up, even though they're not the size we're looking for. Missed. Hit it again. That might be a little better. Hard to say. That can't be mine. He's shrinking on the way in. My goodness. That felt way, well, it's like your last fish. You said the same thing. It felt way bigger when he hit. I was thinking I got a nice one.
A couple more years would be a nice one.
Oh. Well, you don't know what you're going to get into.
Hope you got that. Feels small.
Oh, getting down now. We're going down. Welcome back to Backwater Casting. On this part of the show, we're going to have a little chat with Brian about his career in policing, how he likes living on the Miramichi, and of course, we're going to talk a little bit about fishing.
That one felt bigger.
Did it pull line?
I
want to hear zzz as the drag's going out. That's what I want to hear. Zzz.
He's definitely a little bigger than the last one.
So you tell me I should get ready for the net.
Yep.
Oh, just fighting the current.
That's all he was doing.
Messing with my head. Messing with my head.
Well, he felt bigger.
He's bigger than the one I got on right now, which is nothing.
Hard to tell sometimes when they hit, because he felt bigger when he first hit.
They're all aggressive.
Yep.
Some of them are just bigger. Well, Brian, tell me a little bit about your involvement up here with the Miramichi Police, and how long have you been at it?
I've been a policeman for 30 years, Rick. Been kicking around a long time. I started out in Sussex, which is your old stomping grounds, And then I came up here in 1993 for what was supposed to be 4 months, and ended up meeting a local girl and getting married. Never left. But it's Miramichi is a great place to do police work, great city to work for, and we have our moments. It's a busy spot, but yeah, it's a great place. Nice to be able to come out on the river here and go fishing like this, that's for sure.
Well, Brian, most of us on a day-to-day basis don't have a lot of interaction with the police department, so why don't you tell us a little bit about how your force is structured and some of the things that you do?
So when Miramichi became a city in 1995, we actually had 41 sworn members. City was a lot bigger then because of the mills, and the CFB Chatham was up and running, and it goes by population, right? It's one police officer for every 500 of population. So population went down, and we actually we're at 33 members now, soon to be 34. And but we're quite diverse. We've got an emergency response team with an armored vehicle. We've got a one dog master right now, Constable Scott Smallwood and his dog Chase. Typically we have two, but our last dog master got promoted to sergeant, and her canine ended up passing away. So we'll be in the market to get another canine here soon. We've got a major crime section that stays pretty busy, and then the patrol section, which makes up the bulk of the police department.
Brian, I'd be a little curious about the dogs, and if they're specific in their tasks, or if they multitask like drugs and tracking people, finding lost people. Like, you know, how does that work with the dogs?
That's a really good question, because some dogs have specific jobs, and other dogs are more generalists. So the dog that we have right now, Chase, is trained in aggression, if we need him for that type of purpose, tracking suspects, tracking missing persons, and he's also drug trained. So he can go into a residence, go into a vehicle, even after it's already been searched, and potentially find, you know, drugs hidden in a spot that a human won't find it, because obviously it's doing it by sense of smell. One of our last dogs, Timo, was also trained for firearms. So, you know, if we had a shooting incident and we had a shell casing out in a field, you'll never find that if you're looking for it with just humans and eyes, but the dog can go and find it in a heartbeat, in a hurry.
Brian, what training requirements do you go through? I mean, you've got so many different aspects of policing to deal with.
So obviously, all of our members have to go through a great deal of training in relation to all the aspects of what we do for police work. Our emergency response team, for example, they train twice a month, a couple of Wednesdays every month, and they do everything from building entries to you know, barricaded hostage situations, hostage rescue. They've got a lot of different specialized weapons that are at their disposal, and, you know, including smoke grenades and pepper spray grenades and higher firepower, snipers, those types of things. So the training is always constant when it comes to those things. One of the things that people don't think about all the time is the training that we have to do in regards to impaired driving and drug impaired driving. That's changing all the time now, especially with the legalization of marijuana. So there's very specific training that goes into recognizing signs of impairment and those types of things.
You got a double header on.
Good filming now.
You know, this guy still just.
Oh, he's gone. Mine was taking line. Oh, now he came back and he took it again.
I'll be a different fish probably. No, same size. Just fight like crazy. A daily double. Yeah, we must be just into a whole pile of these. One comes off, another one takes it.
I think mine was bigger.
Brian, you mentioned a while back that you had fished the Striper Cup from shore. So as an angler, how do you feel about the Striper Cup in Miramichi?
The Striper Cup has been fantastic. It brings quite a boost of economy into the region, and it's only been within the last 3 or 4 years that that's actually happened. I mean, I know they've fished bass in the river here for a long time, but it's only taken off in the last 3 or 4 years, and really in the last couple of years is when it's really exploded. It's just, well, I know 2 weeks ago Sunday, I went to Bathurst for a function, and going across the Centennial Bridge, I looked down, and you could easily see 150 boats in both directions. It was incredible. And you know, 5 years ago that wasn't happening. So the amount of money that's being put into the city, from gas stations to hotels to restaurants to stores that are selling bait equipment and stuff, it's just been phenomenal for Miramichi. This one was bigger.
I'm not saying anything because I thought my last two were bigger till they got close to the boat and they just shrank on the way in.
It's not the same fish that first hit it. I think they switched places.
He's not bad though.
Yeah, that's a little bigger actually.
Yeah, he is actually. This one. Well, when you get into them, you certainly get into them when you get into them. There's just a whole bunch of them in here. Yeah, we'll walk back with this guy in a second. We'll get a picture of a double header. This is probably the biggest one I've had so far because I've been getting rid of all those little ones for Brian. Boys, he ate that. Holy smokes. That whole fluke is so far down in there that...
Oh, I think yours is bigger, Rick.
Here, come on up here.
Well,
This is my biggest fish of the day, but it's not anywhere near as big as Mike's biggest fish of the day, but I'm working on it now.
I'll concede this one, but
Yeah. Let's get him back in the water.
there's another one out there with my name on it.
Yeah. I didn't say anything. Stop us again just to see, just in case. Talons down, just in case there's a multitude. Well, Brian, how'd you get into fishing in the first place?
So, yeah, I grew up fishing. Dad always took us fishing when we were kids, outside of Hampton or down Hammond River. But we almost always exclusively fished for trout, fishing with worms or live bait or something along that line. And really that was my experience with fishing until the last few years coming up here to the Miramichi and fishing bass. And the first time I fished bass and really get into them, I think I caught 75 one night, and that you know, that'll hook anybody, especially somebody with kids. You see a father with a couple kids out on the shore, and they're just hammering the bass one right after the other, and the kids are laughing and smiling and having a great time. It's great to see. Now fishing from shore is a lot different than fishing off a boat like this. Obviously, with the fish finders and the technology, it makes things a little bit more comfortable for shore. But when they're biting, there's nothing like them.
Well, Brian, do you do any hunting as well as fishing? Because you seem to be enjoying yourself out on the water, so you like the woods.
So usually fishermen are like to hunt too, and I'm no different. It's nice to be in the outdoors at any time. In the fall, I like to go hunt partridge and deer. Spend a lot of time in deer season with my dad and my hunting buddies. And moose if we're fortunate enough to get a license, which is tough in New Brunswick, but we always apply. And I've got a buddy up in Ontario that for the last 10 years has invited me up to go pheasant and duck hunting, and I spend a week with him. So it's that's when I take most of my vacation and do most of my de-stressing. It's pretty good time to look forward to.
I was reeling as fast as I could, try to catch up to him because he's coming to the boat. He says, "Let me go." He said, I don't care if that's barbless or not. Yeah, they say we seem to have found a bunch of schoolies.
It feels pretty good.
Oh, yeah, oh, we almost had a double. I missed mine. Oh, yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Definitely. I just missed one as well, so they may be coming in. That guy going live well.
Yep, he's a keeper. That one was pretty good. He hit hard when he hit.
He was better
Really
than mine,
hard.
wasn't he, Brian?
Yeah. He was, definitely wasn't one of yours, Rick.
Boys, I don't know if he's going to measure or not. Come on, tape measure. I wouldn't take a chance. It's so close. It's right on the edge.
He's going back. Productive member of the herd. That one hit hard. He was down a little bit deeper too than the previous ones.
Yeah, I put a tape on that guy just for comparison. That was 50 centimeters, like right on the line. So anyway, we put it back to grow a little bit. We'd like it to be 65 centimeters if we're going to have it for supper.
He put up a pretty good fight, especially for a fish his size.
It made sense that this would be a decent spot because you've got river current, you got another wind current coming right through there. Actually, when we started to fish here, there was a pile of pollen and there was a slick actually come out. You could almost see the current line where the pollen was drifting, and then the wind shoved it that way, so it's gone, but it definitely was this way.
Now he's not reeling heavy now, but he sure hit hard when he hit.
They're just not getting me at all. But that was another one right there.
Oh, whoa. Oh, he's just little.
Well, I don't know. He's at least the same as the one you just had. Way bigger than mine. No, he is smaller. You're right.
He's going back.
Yep.
Now he hit hard, but then halfway in, he
Give up the ghost.
Stopped pulling.
Yeah, I had hit again, just like 8 feet off the boat, and just not connecting with it. How would you cook it up if you had one?
They're delicious when they're filleted up. They're as good as anything in a restaurant, I find. And so anything we get today that we get to keep, fillet it up and take it home and deep fry it. Not too long, just enough to get it a little bit crispy on the outside, and nothing better.
Well, Brian, it's been a pleasure. The only thing wrong with the day is you kick my butt all day, and I'm not used to that. But what a great time out in the water with you today. It's a lot of fun.
That's the first time I ever came out first in the fishing contest, I'll tell you, Rick. But I can't thank you enough. I had a blast.
Yeah,
best day of fishing I had in a long time.
Yeah, it was a fun day. It's unfortunate when we were talking to a guide here at the ramp, and he caught almost 5 times as many fish, and we could see him where he was. So sometimes it's just a little bit of positioning, but he did say it was all over in an hour. Maybe the same time we hit that school,
yeah.
And he said a big school come up, and he said it was just crazy for an hour, and then they were gone, and it was over.
That's why it's called fishing and not catching.
That's why it's called fishing. But what a great day, what a beautiful river, a nice friendly community up here. We love coming up, and that's like saying magnificent river.
Well, great meeting you today, and interesting. We had some familiar roots back in the day, back in Sussex.
I know, it is a small world.
It's a very small world.
Yeah. Hey, it's been a slice. I mean, I had a great time today. That was a lot of fun. The drive home is another different issue, but yeah, it was a great day on the water.
Thanks very much. Had a blast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.